So I thought we'd do something that's either going to be fun or really, really dumb today after we go down and look at the water, because the water is always pretty to look at. I was in my basement and I was cleaning it out, or, well, not really cleaning my basement. I was just kind of down there looking at all the stuff I have to go through and getting overwhelmed. And, oh, that's really pretty. I love sunset. But yeah, I was down there basically just getting overwhelmed by all of the stuff that I still need to go through. And I opened up an old refrigerator, which is what my parents always used to store stuff in. And I came across some interesting stuff that I thought you might be interested in seeing. So we are going to go down into the scary basement. Please don't mind how absolutely basementy it is. But we're going to go down into the scary, scary basement and look at what I found. Because why not? It actually kind of relates to all the music I listened to as a kid. So, let's head downstairs. First off, don't judge me too harshly by the state of my basement. It's a basement. It's sort of a cold, cobwebby place that's at least clean enough to walk around in, but it's definitely not a finished, neat and clean place. Actually, you can see my semi-pantry, all the canned goods and stuff. Not always the healthiest, but it's inexpensive and it's great if you don't get a chance to get fresh food. Okay, so in this corner, we have my very large antique, but still working water heater, and this really old refrigerator with an old dot matrix printer on top of it, because my dad was one of those people that loved computers but never updated. So I opened the refrigerator, and inside is a TRS-80 Model 1 computer with the amazing floppy disk drives and a whole lot of floppy disks. I think this thing has to be probably 35, maybe 40 years old. So the weird stuff you find. The other thing I found in here, which we will go through here in a minute, is all of these old albums. Some of them are very cool. Some of them are mine from when I was in high school. And some of them are much, much older and either from my parents or my brother. So we're gonna go through these because why not? Okay, my goodness, what do we have here? We have Christmas favorites for the organ and chimes. A flamenco guitar. That's kind of cool. Greatest hits of Roy Orbison. Neat. More Roy Orbison. Roger Miller. You can definitely tell which ones were my parents. Yeah, definitely this one. Actually, that's a funny thing. My parents were seriously into square dancing when I grew up. Like, seriously into it. My dad was one of the square dance callers. So, not surprised to see that here. Oh, that's cool. Blue Danube. Never heard of the international teenage sensation Rita Pavone. Roy Orbison. Pet Clark. Definitely 60s. Ah, the Mamas and the Papas. Alright, now that's 60s music that I definitely remember. Dick Clark, 20 years of rock and roll. I wonder if any of these actually still play Frank Sinatra, organ music, Broadway hits. Ooh, I bet this record is no good. What was it? Frank Schubert. Andy Williams. More Andy Williams. Yeah, I can tell that a lot of these were my parents. The Everly Brothers. I'm just wondering if there's any of my stuff here. More Christmas. The Righteous Brothers. Ah, Hermits, Hermits. That's always a good one. The Smothers Brothers. Oh my gosh. More Smothers Brothers. Ah, Dominica, the Singing Nun song. I think I remember that. Glenn Miller. I think my mom liked Roy Orbison. And the Everly Brothers. And Herman's Hermits. Ah, hey, now, okay. That was mine. Adamant. More Adamant. This is taking me back to high school. David Bowie. Definitely that's... I think we found my stuff. David Bowie. I went through a massive David Bowie phase. More David Bowie. More David Bowie. I guess this is all I kept was my David Bowie. And this is all my parents kept. More David Bowie. Oh, that's a cool album cover. Like that. More David Bowie. Okay, well, I guess that was all we had, was a lot of David Bowie, a little bit of Adamant, and a bunch of stuff from the 60s. Not too bad. Definitely interesting. Well, that was definitely interesting. Not as interesting as the clouds in nature, but it was definitely interesting. I do remember that I liked David Bowie a whole lot. I also liked some of my mom's 60s music. I'm kind of surprised that there were no Monkees albums down there. Because honestly, I was a huge Monkees fan. In fact, I won tickets to their reunion concert back in 1989 or 90, I think. And I went with my cousin, which was a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised that there weren't any of those. I guess since we're up and out here, we should maybe go check on the potatoes and see how they're doing. Considering they're the only thing that seems to be doing well. Speaking of doing well, they are doing well. I don't think that that lone stalk of corn in there has much of a chance outcompeting the potato bush. Even the potato that Lily ate, that row right there, is doing really good now. Now that it's protected and she can't eat it, it actually looks pretty good. And the corn down there is getting taller, although I'm not really expecting to get any ears off of it. I think I planted it too late. Story of my life. But, you know, you live and you learn. And I will leave you tonight with this absolutely beautiful peach-colored lily. Have a good night.